You boys ready?
Yep.
I'm
Okay.
ready. Just yep. Ready when you are.
I'm gonna tell the guys to ready up now.
What we're going to do, but while we're loading up Ian, I'm going to dial us
Yep.
in, but we're still going to be on the same screen as before.
What the hell is Green Pies
So
on
I'm just
about?
going to
Can you
introduce it
set
and read out
it
the
to
championship
official
standings.
time? Because last week, in quali, I
Right.
could barely see because it was nearly night time.
What's he saying?
As the
He's always...
music, I think the music's moved on, hasn't it, on the stream? Fuck's sake. No, it hasn't. Thank God for that. Let's restart it again.
Is he saying something about the time of day?
Yeah. Right.
Alright, but he wants it to be on the official setting.
Yeah, I've done
What time
that.
is it on?
Right.
I've changed it to midday now.
Afternoon would have been fine. But yeah.
Well, that is France, so that's pretty clear as it is anyway.
Right, ready up, boys.
Look at that, of course it's raining.
Alright, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's get this. I don't know how people can't see that it's time to go when you've got Dan, who's the host, putting his start on. Like, it's pretty clear, isn't it?
Yeah, but people just join and just hit
set
ready
their
up, didn't they? The problem is, as well, you got
Yeah.
Matt, Keegs, Gary, and all them lot who don't look at the Discord, and they're just...
Right. I'm gonna get ready.
I'm going to mute my mic for the start, for the intro anyway.
Oh.
Might have to invite Nicky Allard in, by the way, when he gets here.
What is Green Pies doing?
Alright.
By the way, Andy, if you want my stream, it'll be on my channel, obviously, so if you want another view,
I'll do that.
if.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to France. We're here for the French Grand Prix here at Motive Racing, round 10 of the championship. My name's Andy, I'm joined in the commentary box by Ian. Ian, welcome along. We've got a great night lined up ahead of us tonight, I reckon.
Yeah, we definitely do. You know, power card. No matter what game you're playing on, you can be on Settle Corsa. You can be on well, it's not on Project Cars 2, I don't think. But any other game that it's on that you can play it, it always provides some great racing, some fast racing and very close racing at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got the championship standings up on the screen in front of us right now. A little bit of a new feature to the streams. So it's Green Pies leading this one coming into round 10 of the season on 193 points. He's opened up a bit of a gap at the top of the leaderboard over just Jose. Jose sits in second position on 149 points, 44 points behind Green Pies. You've got Matahimovic in third, Racing for Racing Point, currently sat in third in the championship standings. He said to me yesterday night when we had a little chat on the Simplay Motorsport stream, he said that he's given up on the Drivers' Championship, but him and his teammate Gary, 131, have very much got their sights set on the Constructors' Championship. They're not too far behind in that one, so Racing Point very much going for gold in the Constructors. Got Unorthodox sat in fourth place in the standings on 87 points, followed by Gold Standard on 58, with Gary just behind him on 55. Gold Standard not here this evening, unfortunately, couldn't make it. We've got GDBO sat in seventh on 49 points, with Brown McClue's on 48, Manu on 37, also not turning up tonight, unfortunately, for Manu. Keegs rounding out the top 10 on the championship standings. They've got Nicky Allard on 20 points in 11th place, NJ on 14 in 12th, Penguin Dude sat in 13th on 11 points, Leon Fernie not here tonight for Mercedes in 14th in the championship. We've got Jaffa Cake in 15th in the Red Bull, the last of the point scorers so far this season. Fury, Redding, DJ Phil, Prouty has just pulled out of the championship this evening, actually, so he shouldn't be on that list. And Jamie Brazier, a newcomer to the F1 Championship here at Motive Racing, rounding out the table. But we're going to go to the action here, out on track right about now. And here we go. So 16 minutes and 25 seconds on the stream. Obviously, it's about 9 seconds behind what we're seeing right now. So here we go, 16 minutes, 10 seconds left in this qualifying session, and looking forward to this one, Ian. We should be in for a bit of a treat. Paul Ricard can be a tricky little circuit. It's I feel sometimes like you're in a bit of a maze around this track. Every corner seems to look the same, and I, for one, seem to always get a bit lost around here. But I don't know about yourself, but it's a bit of a difficult one for me.
Yeah, especially on the back end of the track after you come off the big long straight. It definitely gets a lot bit confusing going, you're going one minute you're going left, next minute you're going right, next minute you're going left and then right, and then everything, it all comes at you in a big massive blur, so it does, and it just hits you like a ton of bricks, so it does.
Yeah, absolutely, it certainly does, and hopefully it doesn't catch out any of the drivers tonight. We might be seeing, I think it's the one good thing about this track is that if you do get caught out, you've got plenty of runoff area to cushion the blow. The barriers are quite a little way away from you in any sense, so hopefully that will cause a bit of a it'll definitely get these drivers off the hook if they do get themselves into trouble throughout the course of this race. But yeah, 3 minutes into this qualifying session, still nobody yet to set a lap time. We're going to try and figure out who's on a flying lap here. Keegs is backed right out of it here. We're just watching him as he's coming through the first sector right now. We've got Green Pies out there in the McLaren.
It looks like Gary's already got himself the front right side plate of his wing is actually went on a holiday, so it has. So that's either go back in and get it fixed, or sacrifice a good few attempts on downforce. So it looks like he's going in right now to get that wing fixed.
Yeah, that's no ideal there for him. Just having a look at the stream here, is it? Something wrong with it? It doesn't look right.
Yeah, I'm getting some feedback from the stream going coming from your headset.
Oh. That looks alright now. Should be okay.
I don't know if I did hear some the stream comes to your headset there, but I think the bit I'm hearing right now might just be silence from when you're trying to sort something out or that, or you've turned the stream down.
Yeah, no, I've got it on my phone just there just to check to see if everything was going right with it, but yeah, looks like that's alright now. But we've only got Green Pies setting the pace here in this qualifying session, sat there on a 1 minute 28.8. He's got just over a second in hand over Penguin Dude. Penguin Dude in that McLaren comes into this one, obviously with not the most amount of points in the championship, a little way down the order in the championship standings, so he's got it to do. His teammate Green Pies has been doing the business at the top of the standings. 5 wins so far this season for Green Pies, 4 wins for his championship rival Just Jose. So these two have taken every single race win over the course of this season, but it's been Green Pies who's had the better consistency over the course of this one. Whether or not he can bring that into the French Grand Prix tonight is anybody's guess. But Just Jose said in the Discord server a little while ago that he's got some confidence around this track. It's a track that he enjoys, Paul Ricard. So we could be seeing Just Jose maybe taking a little bit out of Green Pies' championship lead. If he's on it tonight and he's come prepared, then we might be seeing a good performance from Just Jose. But still, it's all going to be found out tonight regardless. We see Matahimovic puts it provisionally on the front row of the grid, up into P2 in that racing point. Matahimovic, best of the rest so far this season behind Green Pies and Just Jose, the 2 title protagonists. This man here sat in third in the standings, has outperformed his teammate Gary 131 by quite some way so far this season. Gary's had a couple of podium finishes here and there, but inconsistency for this man Gary 131 has been his undoing so far throughout this campaign. But Matahimovic currently going around what seems to be the middle part of this lap right now, and yeah, be good to see Matahimovic putting some more good points on the table. Last time out of Canada, the race that wasn't actually streamed, he managed to finish in second place and had a good fight with Green Pies for that one, so I'm led to believe. So he might be looking to try and go one better here tonight, but he's going to have his work cut out because Green Pies can't doing some great lap times in the early stages of this session, Ian.
Yeah, Paul Ricard always opens up a bit more of a possibility for those that aren't as good in the slower, more tight, twisty tracks. that are a little bit faster and the less technical, more faster type tracks, and it definitely allows other people to try and get that a little bit more of a push out of their car and get higher up that leaderboard for a better start.
Yeah, absolutely. Just seeing in the Discord server that Nicky Allard has mentioned he didn't get an invite to the session.
Oh.
Let me see if we can sort that out.
He did. Yeah. I did send him one, but
It may have went missed.
you guys,
right.
people need to be on time.
No, we can send invites. It's fine. We can send new invites in the session. It's fine. It lets me do it. I think if you're a spectator, you can send invites. Right.
Yeah,
so,
just press the start button.
Yeah, it's fine. He's got an invite now.
We think we might
okay.
see some rain. ETA is about 15
But
minutes.
yeah, a few guys in the pits, obviously changing their tyres, putting a fresh set of boots on here. So Green Pie is currently with quite a significant gap in this qualifying session. He's got over a second in hand over Matahimovic, and then the rest of the guys seem to be pretty close. Big Boy Brazier on his F1 debut here at Motive Racing, currently sat in P5, driving in the Mercedes AMG, but he's not going to get the advantage that the Mercedes would usually get in real life.
World.
Obviously, yeah, because all these cars are set to equal standing here in this Formula 1 Championship, so he won't get any advantage from that AMG. Brown McCrew's coming out of the pits, also Keegs is out on the track, sorry Ian.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, it's absolutely right that all the cars are on equal standings in terms of power, and everything else is just purely down to driver skill and manoeuvrability throughout each and every race.
Yeah, that's it, absolutely, and yeah, hopefully the skills will be able to pay the bills tonight out on the track, but we'll get to see who is obviously the best of the best here, and we've seen throughout the season that it's Green Pies and just Jose who have got to grips with these Formula 1 cars the best, obviously driving in the McLaren for Green Pies, that very distinctive orange livery, and he's been really getting the best out of it so far this season. He's obviously got a setup that works for him around pretty much every track, and last time out in Canada took his 5th win of the season. Just Jose had a little bit of a blip last time out, didn't even come in 2nd place, which is quite unusual considering it's usually one of those two as the on the top spot of the podium. But just Jose came in P3, so he's definitely going to be looking to try and respond this time out, driving in the Alpha Tauri. He's tribute to Daniel Kvyat, the Torpedo. But Penguin Dude really standing out for me right now. He seems like he's probably taken a few tips off of his teammate Green Pies, and in the early stage of this qualifying session, or indeed the halfway point now, he's up in P3, so he's absolutely on it tonight, is Penguin Dude.
Well, the one thing I've noticed is that, sorry to cut you off there, but that from 2nd place down to 4th are all separated by less than 1/10 of a second.
Yeah, it's incredibly close between those three in 2nd, 3rd and 4th positions, isn't it? I mean, it's incredibly tight. If it wasn't for Green Pies having such a huge lead at the top of the leaderboard, you'd be saying what a close session it was, but ultimately Green Pies is in a class of his own right now, and it looks like he's got something that none of the rest of these guys have. Just Jose, just on his outlap here, he's going for another go here in this session. He will be disappointed with how last week went, where he wasn't able to really challenge Green Pies a whole lot, but I'm sure he's going to be in a position where he can challenge this time out. He seems to have a run of races where he's a little bit off of Green Pies, and then he'll have another run where he's pretty much on it. We saw at Monaco, he took a dominant win in that one. Also Azerbaijan, he closed in on Green Pies at the end, passed him with a couple of laps left to go, and it took maximum points in that one. So just Jose needs to make sure that this week he's in a position where he can capitalise. But Brown McClure currently coming on an outlap right now. Keegs there sat in at 7th at the moment in this qualifying session. He's also on an outlap. GDBO sat in 8th place in this qualifying standings. We've got Jaffa Cake just coming into the pits. So he's clearly not happy with something on that Red Bull. He's just coming, slowing the car down, and into the box he comes. Unorthodox, still yet set.
Improved his lead.
Oh wow, look at that. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Ian. That is incredible. And he just takes out the foam braking marker coming into turn 1 there as he does it. So Green Pies has just set an even stronger benchmark here in this qualifying session. This man is on an absolute mission tonight. As we said, leads the championship by 44 points. We'll get those championship standings up at the end of this qualifying session, but oh my goodness, he is just on another level right now, this Green Pies. This is absolutely scintillating form from our championship leader right now. As we see Big Boy Brazier moving up the leaderboard there, though, Ian. He's got within 6/10.
That's a really good pace. Now, definitely not anywhere near. Well, it still is not. It's not near. Anywhere near him. It is near. It just still got a really high amount of attempts to collect in order to get challenge Green Pies in any way, shape, or form for that pole position with 5.5 minutes to go. It's looking slimmer and slimmer by the second for him to be able to catch that pole position, even in that Mercedes.
Yeah, it all depends on what Green Pie's got left in the locker, because that sort of came out of nowhere. Big Boy Brazier, he's improved his fastest time by over a second. It depends really whether or not he's got a lot of running in for this session. We know he's going to be pretty hyped up for this because this is his Motive Racing F1 debut, so he's definitely going to be out there with the points to prove tonight. It just it depends on what he's got left in his locker right now. But Gary moving to P3, he's currently just under a second off of Green Pie's time, so he's finding little bits of speed here and there out on the track. He's just coming down the up into turn 8 by the looks of it. There is Penguin Dude currently sat in P4 at the moment, just over a second off of his teammate Green Pies, the qualifying and championship leader right now. Matahimovic, McGarry's teammate, currently 3/10 off of his teammate, sat in P5. So it looks like he's not fully getting it down right now. Just Jose, not having the best of qualifying sessions here tonight. The man sat in second in the championship standings, and he's bringing it into the pits, so presumably he's going to make some adjustments and go for one last-ditch attempt here at the end of this session. But has he got anything left in the tank to try and go for pole position here? What do you reckon, Ian?
Well, yeah, it's very possible that he could go back and do a few tweaks here and there. Maybe go for a set of softs. Maybe throw himself out there a little bit with a little less downforce, maybe. Since this is such a high-paced course, but I think right now I don't think a lot of people have that much all to worry about in terms of qualifying positions, because the first few corners of this track do kind of open up a big opportunity for drivers to try and make up some places, because they're how slower and tighter some of these corners going into the back straight are. So I think that it's either going to result in some good overtakes or some horrible race-ending incidents.
I think what you've alluded to there is that a lot of what's going to be advantageous to these drivers out there tonight is going to be traction. It's going to be getting good exits out of those slower corners, out onto the faster straights, and especially in the race, it's going to be where these drivers can get things done and maybe make up some places. But also in the qualifying session as well, it's going to be down to what sort of it's going to be all about the exits out of these corners. Sections like this coming out onto this extremely long stretch, which separates the first and second sectors, and also that will be the DRS zone where the guys will get an opportunity to make a lot of overtakes during the race. So it's going to be actually it's this section here just coming out of this part, but yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see anyway. But yeah, absolutely.
One thing I have noticed is that every time it comes to us for F1 each week, it's always raining outside.
I don't know why that is, to be fair. I think it's just something to do with Fridays.
It could be, I don't know, but it's always raining.
Friday nights haven't been really the same as during COVID, have they? So I suppose it's just the weather getting a little bit down in the dumps, maybe.
In terms of COVID, actually, I don't know how many Welsh people we have that watch our streams.
I believe Matt's Welsh, so...
Yeah, and for anybody that lives in Wales, I believe that Wales is actually going to be lifting its stay-at-home order as of tomorrow. So chances are the rest of the England, Scotland and everywhere else could be following suit at some point soon.
Well, that's going to be a bit of a dark time for us if indeed that does turn out to be the case, but I suppose it means we're all going to be sat on our sim rigs doing more racing, I guess. When I say that, I mean they're left in the order to stay at home, that you can go out and do normal activities again. Oh, okay, fair enough. No, that makes sense. Yeah. That's pretty good. I thought you were saying that everyone's going to have to stay at home.
No. Oh god, I would just be like, oh god, just put me, just
Here
keep
we
me
go
in bed.
again.
Yeah, like, no, I barely ever went out before COVID, but at least I had a choice to go out.
To be fair, it's not really the same as it was like this time a year ago, though, is it? It's
No.
a little bit more laid back than what we had a year ago. But yeah, still not ideal the situation that we're in right now. But we can see the light at the end of the tunnel, that's for sure.
Oh
June
yeah, of course,
21st being the opportunity where we could actually go back to doing normal things without
Well, at
having
least
to.
in England anyway. Scotland, that's a different ballgame.
Well, I'm not sure what the situation is in Scotland there, but yeah, definitely England. We can see the end is near. Hopefully, but,
Yeah.
it all depends on how effective these vaccines are, I suppose. As we see,
Lord
Reading
Reading.
has left the session, so that's unfortunate there for Reading. Hopefully, he can get back in before the end of this qualifying session. He might be able to get in time for the start of the Grand Prix. There is a horrible noise in the pit lane, and I keep hearing it whenever we go past the pit lane. It's driving me nuts. Hopefully, that's a glitch in the game. If that's that's supposed to be there, then it's going to definitely play havoc with my ears.
I'm
But,
not hearing anything at all, so I think it's just on your end.
Is it like a
Yeah.
high pitched noise? Does it go like ba 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 ba?
Sounds like an ambulance or something.
Yeah, that's the indicator that there's a car coming in the pits.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Is it constant, or is it just when somebody's coming in that you hear it, Andy?
I believe
Every time the driver that we're watching goes past the pits, you hear it.
Yeah.
it's most likely because someone's entering the pit lane.
Yeah, it could be. We'll keep an
Oh,
eye out
anyway.
for it just to see.
I'll just have to mind over matter with that one. I'll just have to get over
Yeah.
it.
Bread and butter.
Yeah, so exactly. But Green Pies sat on provisional pole position on a 1 minute 28.6. He's got 7 tenths over Big Boy Brazier, who provisionally will be joining him on the front row. Gary's in the pits. He's not going to move up the order. Can Penguin do get himself up into the front row places? No, he can't, because he's weaving all over the place on this lap. So he's coming into the pits, presumably. Matahimovic has got a bit of traffic in front of him right now. Is that Kieran Argent? I think it is. So this is not going to be ideal here for Matahimovic. He's got a reserve Kieran Argent currently in his way on his what I presume is Matamovic's final flying lap of the
It's
session.
starting to rain.
Oh!
We are just hearing reports over the team radio from our in-race reporter Unorthodox that it is starting to rain just a little bit here at Port
It wasn't my
It's
fault.
the end of the qualifying session. It is actually Ian's fault because he started talking
it's
about
not.
rain earlier on. No, it is
No.
Ian's just put the curse. He's put the
No.
weather curse here on Motive
It
Racing
makes
Formula 1
things
drivers.
interesting. It makes
But-
things interesting.
But no, because the qualifying session has no bearing on what the race is going to be, so we might not even have any rain at all for the race.
No, that's a very good point, that actually.
So thankfully the race
It's dynamic
formed at the end
weather.
of the session.
We have dynamic weather on, don't we?
That's right.
We do indeed. We
Yeah,
do indeed.
Oh, it could very well be. It could very well be a rainy start, but it could end up drying out.
hoping
We
it
just have
rains.
to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see what the race brings, but fingers crossed for us as viewers, we will have a very exciting and clean race from all the drivers. But it's Green Pies taking pole position here for round 10 of the season. The French Grand Prix takes it by 6 tenths of a second ahead of Big Boy Brazier, the new driver to the league, looking to stamp his authority on this Formula 1 league. Gary qualifies in third place with Penguin Dude in fourth. Matahimovic lining up on the third row with just Jose, Green Pie's closest championship contender, alongside him. And one thing to crucially to point out, Ian, is that just Jose's qualified on the medium tyres.
Oh,
But if it's a wet start, that's going to be completely redundant.
yeah, that is. Well, from what I'm seeing in the background behind the screen, it definitely seems like it's still raining. I don't know if that's just the same screen from the back for the qualifying session or not, but we'll just have to wait and see exactly how we're going to start out here.
Absolutely, it's a waiting game right now, but we're moments away from the start of the 10th round of the Formula 1 season here at Motive Racing. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you see, drop a like on the video, subscribe, and if you want to get involved, go to motiveracing.com. That's where you can get yourself involved in the on-track action. But here we go then. This is it. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. And Ian, final predictions before we get going. Who do we reckon? Who's our money on here for the start of this race?
Well, I think it's pretty simple who we think is going to going to take the checkered flag here tonight, and it's going to be green pies, and barring any major catastrophes going into the first few corners.
Well, yeah, you say that, but Big Boy Brazier only 6/10 off, and we don't know how much preparation he's had for this one. And also, you've got to remember, just shows they were qualified on the medium tyres, so he's going to be able to go long into that first stint. It all just depends on whether or not it's a wet start to this race. But here we go then, we're about to go through the formation. No, it's not, we've got dry start, so a medium tyres for just Jose will be very beneficial, because he'll be able to go a long way in to this opening stint of the race. But I suppose if the rain comes later on, then it's going to really bite him on the backside. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see at the moment, because you don't have to use both compound in a wet race.
We're seeing old times come back. Oh, Gas Creek was disqualified.
That's alright.
Yeah, we're seeing an old head pop up in the first row. We're seeing that Mercedes back up there. We did not like that. I did not like that view.
This is giving us PTSD from the real life Formula 1 season right now, isn't it, I think?
Are you just jealous, Ian, that you can get it up there?
I'm saying nothing to that because of the way that my mind works, and that's a family-friendly show.
By the way,
Ian's really upset with what Dan just said there.
By the way, I just did a weather report. Weather report, and it looks like it's going to stay dry for majority of the race. There's no rain invalid.
Fair enough. So it was just a little bit of a shower at the end of that qualifying session, but obviously that was on a Sunday, and now that was on a Saturday, and now we're on a Sunday, and the points are handed out on a Sunday, so this is more crucial for all these drivers to make sure they perform on the Sunday. But I'm talking absolute load of rubbish right now, aren't I?
Yeah, as always.
Just to the
championship standings while we're going on this formation lap.
Just before you do that, Andy, just want to make sure that drivers, please be careful into turn 1 and 2. Let's try and make it as clean as possible.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
I'm looking at you, Fury.
But here we go. We've got championship standings on the page right now. So Green Pies leading the way on 193 points, ahead of just Jose on 149. Then we've got Matahimovic sat on 119 points. There he is in the racing point. We've got Unorthodox coming into this one, sat in 4th in the standings. He's qualified way down the order in 12th place here for this one. He's sat on 87 points. Gold Standard not around for this one tonight. Gary sat in 6th in the championship. We're going to have to report this because we're about to go racing, so we're just lining up on the grid here for the start. But there you go, you've got the championship standings in front of you there, guys. You can all see what the state of play is with that. We're just going to take those away now, and we're moments away from lights out here. So can Green Pies get a good getaway, or is he going to get pipped by the newcomer Big Boy Brazier? The new kid on the block's going to be looking to make a great opening round to his season. But here we go, we are moments away from round 10 of the season here at Paul Ricard for the French Grand Prix. The lights are on, the engines rise, the engine revs rise, and it looks like we are...
Lights out.
We are away. Here we go. Good start there from both of the front two. Green Pies and Big Boy Brazier get away nicely. Looks like the racing point there of Gary has already been pipped by Penguin Dude as he's come up towards turn 1. It looks like Penguin Dude's up into 3rd place there around the outside. Brilliantly done there from him. It looks like we've also got the other... it looks like Gary's getting a little bit wide there, and he's got somebody else going up his inside. He's going to lose a couple of positions here by the looks of it, but Big Boy Brazier holding on for P2 there, just ahead of Penguin Dude. And a couple of guys side by side. Is Matahimovic looking to try and make a move here on his teammate Gary up into 4th place? I think he might have done, you know. Or no, actually, in fact, that isn't Matahimovic even. That's just Jose there getting involved. So just Jose moved himself up into 4th place. Matahimovic is down to 7th. Not the best of starts for Matahimovic. Green Pies still leads this race though. Big Boy Brazier's facing heavy pressure from Green Pies teammate Penguin Dude, who's looking to try and get himself up into P2, but the other championship contender, just Jose there, really getting the start that he needed in that one, and he's up into 4th place on those medium tyres.
Well, that's a fantastic start, and you're definitely going to want the extra harder compound well on the faster track, especially during this kind of heat. I've just seen a predicted pit stop strategy. Oh, Brandon Cruz is retired.
Oh, he's out of the race. Has he made contact with the wall somewhere? Maybe we might be in for a VSC or a safety car. I believe the marshals are going to try and recover that. No, there we go. Safety car is out. Brandon Cruz is obviously in a bit of a compromising position. We're down to 14 runners in the early stage of this race. So this Green Pies leading this one just ahead of Big Boy Brazier. Penguin Dude sat in 3rd place. Just Jose in 4th position in the Alpha Tower. He's made some good gains there at the start of the race. Just Jose, and the safety car will put him in a position where he can make even more gains here.
three drivers so far taking advantage of the safety car and is going in for some new shoes.
Indeed they are. So fresh set of boots coming onto some of these cars. There's the racing point of Matahimovic just bringing it into the box now. It looks like he's putting on another set. Yeah, he's putting on another set of the mediums there. So Matahimovic in and out, very nicely done. And it looks like also DJ Phil and Kieran Argent as well has put some fresh boots on that Renault.
Yeah, DJ Phil opted for another set of the hard tyres during this pit stop.
Yes, indeed he did, and he's off and on his way now out of the pits to continue on his way. But Green Pies there, getting the start they needed. He's obviously put it on pole position by 0.6 of a second, but Big Boy Brazier showing that he's no pushover in this race. He's going to give Green Pies a bit of a headache if he can during this one. Jamie Brazier, regular over at Simplay in their Pro Series for the GT3s on a Thursday night. And
another comment from the drivers, from me, myself. When out on track and we are behind a safety car, please no stop starting. Nice smooth pace. Everyone stick to within a good distance of each other. No sudden braking. We have got front wings. Remember that, guys.
There you go. So you've done Michael Schumacher of Motive Racing there. Unorthodox mention there that nobody should be going for any little rash manoeuvres under safety car. Sorry that I had to. But anyway.
No, that's fine, mate. But it's just annoying that you go behind a safety car, someone suddenly brakes and then loses my front wing. It's just it's just stupidity.
You want to say it before it happens. I know what you mean. I know exactly where you're coming from in that one. But yeah, we currently looks like everybody behaving themselves quite nicely right now. Hopefully nobody decides to act a little bit overzealously throughout this safety car period. Gary sat in P5, lost a couple of positions. He got a bit of a nightmare start to the race for Gary 131. His teammate Matahimovic has taken advantage of this safety car period and he's coming into the pits. But he will have to come in at the end of the race again. So he will probably have to switch to a set of at least another set of soft at the end of the race.
Keeks has gone in.
Keeks has come in. He's really pushing it though, isn't he? Because
Fury has got major damage to that front wing. He just saw bits of it
Fury?
fall
Has he been down to the safety car or has he crashed into the pit wall?
I think he had contact with somebody.
He crashed into the back of me. Everyone slowed right down and he ploughed into the back of me.
Have you got any damage on the rear of that car then?
I ain't got damage on the rear of my car. I got a 5-second penalty apparently for causing the collision.
What?
As long as you've got your POV, so you can actually appeal that in the steward's inquiries after the race.
I have to serve it in a pit stop. It does it automatically. There's no fighting against it.
You'll be able to get that overturned.
Nah, it won't. It's fine. It's whatever.
But you'll be able to, what would happen is basically
you've got video footage that was what caused the penalty, so that's fine. You can appeal that one.
Yeah, we'll just take away 5 seconds from your official your running race time and see if it changes the positions.
Just whatever, but moving on.
Fury will have to come in to fix that that front wing as it is. It's quite severely damaged at the front right there. On the front left, I believe it is.
Just for clarification, is the safety car coming in this lap or do we not know yet?
I will let you know when it's coming in.
Thank you very much, Dad. So whilst we're just on the safety car right now, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody watching the stream and to all patrons of Motive Racing here, those of you who put your faith in us, who signed up to that patron service.
You're very welcome.
Incredibly grateful. Thank you very much, Ian. It's very kind of you, mate. But yeah, we'll read out the names of every single one of the patrons as soon as this race is over. If you see Big Boy Brazier's AI there in control, maybe that's
safety car in this lap. Yeah. Safety car is in this lap.
Safety car in this lap. So here we go. We're probably about 40 seconds away from a restart here, or possibly even closer than that. But safety car's pulling away. Big Green Pie's backing up the pack a little bit. Here we go.
Just in the steady 70 miles an hour.
That's it. We're just in the background there. You've got the championship standings in front of you right now, ladies and gentlemen. Just before coming into this round, just so you're aware of the situation, Green Pie's leading the championship, currently leading this race as well. So he's in the box seat tonight. Just Jose though, running on the medium tyres for the start of this race. So it will definitely allow him to go long into this first stint and potentially run a quicker stint at the end of the race. And he's up into P4 on the first lap of this race. He's now making gains. He'd be looking to try and take Penguin in a Big Boy Brazier if he can. But that's the situation right now anyway, as we're coming around the last corner and we're moments away from a restart here. Lap 3 of 27, coming on to lap 4. Here we go, yeah, we are underway once again. Green Pies leads us away. Big Boy Gracie a second. Penguin Dude a little bit sleepy off the start there. Dropped a bit of time. It looks like also Gary has it looks like he's got GDBO looking to his outside there. Is GDBO pulled the move? He has indeed. GDBO is up into fifth place. Very nicely done there from GDBO. Gary has to back out of that one as we see there. Penguin Dude's picked up a penalty and you're absolutely right, Arian. He's obviously taken advantage with the track limits somewhere out there. And that will cost him at the end of the race. He's got Just Jose really piling the pressure on him right now, trying to get up into that P3. Just Jose, as we've said, running on the medium tyres, but they won't be too worn out because obviously they're very durable. So he's done he has Ian. That's not ideal for Kieran Argent at all.
I'm going to shut up at the penalties now. I'm sounding like a broken record.
Well, no, by all means mention it because it's very relevant to the situation. Oh no! Somebody's crashed out there. Who's that?
Oh.
That is Keegs there. Keegs has had a bit of a spin. He's way down the field. Has he got any damage on that car? It looks like he's got away without too much damage. But he's lost lots and lots of time. Fury's also way off the back of the pack, 20 seconds behind Keegs.
He has damage.
He has damage. Keegs has run into lots of problems there. Go on, Ian.
The front left of his front wing is missing the side plate, and Matt has picked up a 3-second penalty as well.
Matt's picked up a penalty, yeah. Obviously, Matimovic has been into the pits for a pit stop already, and he's looking up to the inside of Unorthodox. These two have had great battles throughout the course of this season. There was a little bit of controversy from the race at Canada last week because Matimovic went for a bit of a speculative dive up the inside of turn 4, I think it was. The left-hander coming up towards the end of that really fast stretch, separating the first and second sectors, and it was actually. Well, it looked like a bit of a racing incident between the two. Unorthodox kind of left the door open. Matimovic went for the move. And Matimovic has just pulled off a great move there on Dan. It's pretty much out-dragged him down the pit straight, and he's up into 6th place. So pretty routine stuff there from Matimovic.
Yeah, it's he's used the slipstream to his advantage, and he just got straight up behind him, and he's went for the corner and took it. He's just right now he's focused on catching up to his teammate that is Gary. He's probably roughly about a couple of tenths off of Gary right now, but right now he's just trying to focus on closing that gap. His Fury has picked up a 3-second time penalty as well.
Yeah, he has indeed. Fury's obviously running, taking advantage of the track limits a little bit, but so are they all. And with the corner cutting stringency up strict for this race for the first time, it really is going to catch a lot of these guys out. We're going to see
spun at the front, towards the back. Gary spun it.
Oh no, Gary 131. It's down to P9. Fury's retired from the session as well. He's DNF'd, so he's out of this one. But Gary there,
he hit a wall. He's currently sitting on the back end, just in the first part of the long stretch. He's just sitting there. So it looks like we're going to have our safety full course safety car here.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, safety car once again deployed. Green Pies coming into the pits from the lead. Big Boy Brazier following him in. I would imagine that these guys are going to try and put on a set of mediums and try and go towards the end. Maybe try and get to about lap 19 or 20 and then do a short stint on the softs at the end. But who knows?
Brazier is on the medium.
Green Pies also on the mediums.
Yep. Just Jose is on the hard.
We're expecting most of these guys. Just Jose. Is he going to try and go to the end? Now this really does open up the strategy here in this race. Just Jose on the hard tyres. He might be trying to go the full distance here in this race. Green Pies has got to stop again for sure on the mediums. He can't do 21 laps on the mediums. And as you say, also a penalty there for...
It was there was 2 penalties in the time you were speaking there. One was for Keegs' 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Unorthodox has picked one up for multiple warnings. He picked up a 3-second penalty as well.
Yeah, so lots of drivers there overstepping the mark just a little bit, and we're down to 13 runners here in this race as we're under a second safety car in the space of 6 laps. So lots of these drivers struggling to get to grips with this Paul Ricard circuit tonight here for the French Grand Prix here. Our motive is currently GDPO, who's inherited the race lead. Sorry, Ian.
While we're on the safety car, I need to go and quickly put my little darling daughter down to bed.
Okay, so Ian will be joining us back with us in a few moments' time. But there we go. So we're on the full safety car here on lap 6 of 27. GDBO picks up the race lead. It's given to him on a plate due to the front runners coming into the pit lane to make a pit stop and put some fresh rubber on. GDBO now finds himself with the ascendancy, having started on the medium tyres. He is currently in the box seat. He can go a little way into this race, and I wonder whether he's going to be trying to make a one-stopper and keep track position here in this fight. But he's going to have a lot of faster guys behind him, queuing up, hoping to make their way back through the pack. I suppose GDBO's best hope now is to try and break away and get himself in a position where he's far enough ahead of the leaders that he's got that buffer and he might be able to go and take this race by the scruff of the neck. But who knows, we'll have to wait and see. Matahimovic, P2 in this race, third in the championship coming into this round. Matahimovic said to me yesterday night he's going for the Constructors' Championship. Himself and Gary... Oh, goodness me. Sorry, I just accidentally kicked my desk there. But yeah, himself and Gary 131 very much going for the Constructors there in the Racing Point team, and it'll be interesting to see whether or not they can get some good points on the board tonight. Gary obviously down in 11th place, hasn't been the easiest of races for him so far, but Gary on the mediums, he's got a fresh set of tyres on as well. I'm just going to quickly pull up the spectator menu and have a look to see exactly what tyres everybody is on here. So it looks like everybody bar just Jose is on the medium tyres. Just Jose, I would assume, is going to try and go to the end on those hard tyres. He's put those on at the end of lap 6, sorry. He's got to do 21 laps altogether, but if a few of those laps are under safety car, that's going to give him a chance to really look after those white wall hard tyres, and it's going to give him more of a chance to be able to go to the end of the race. It's definitely on the cards for just Jose to go the full distance on those tyres. For sure, we're going to have to watch out for just Jose here in this race. If he can if he can jump Green Pies, Matahimovic, all those guys running near the front, we might be able to see just Jose giving this a very good go here in this race. He needs some wins on the board because he's got a big gap to Green Pies in the championship. I will just pull that up on the screen. In fact, you're probably seeing it a bit before I actually did it because my private stream is a few seconds behind, but that's the situation in the championship right now. So Green Pies has quite a sizable lead in the championship, 44 points over just Jose coming into this round. Just Jose's got a mountain to climb. He really needs Green Pies to have a couple of
safety car in this lap.
Yeah, indeed. We're just seeing on race control and in race reporter unorthodox there that the safety car is due to peel in at the end of this lap, so they'll probably be speeding ahead just right about now. And then GDBO will be the man who dictates the pace, and he will slow the pack up to a point where it's safe. He's got a safe distance to the safety car, and then he can floor it out of the last corner, and the race will be underway once again once we go past the safety car line. So this is it then, second restart of the evening. We've got Ian back in the commentary box with us right now. Ian's just put his little one to bed, so we're now joined by the Flying Scotsman once again, and former champion of the Clio Cup Tier 2 and Project Cars 2, Ian. We've got GDBO leading this race. Everyone's on fresh medium tyres now, bar just Jose. But well, GDBO isn't actually. GDBO hasn't fitted. Neither has Unorthodox, and neither has Reading. Everybody else on fresh rubber. As it looks like we're about to go racing here. We are green for another restart here. Looks like a few guys kind of missed the start a little bit there. We've got side-by-side action. Jaffa Cake. It looks like he's going side-by-side with Green Pies. Green Pies is going to try and run the outside here of turn one. A bit of a tap in the rear for Green Pies. Just tagging Kieran Argent there as he came around the outside of Jaffa Cake. He's gone with that move off brilliantly there. And it looks like Green Pies is up into P5. He's right on the back of Kieran Argent now. Let's ride on board with Green Pies and see what he's doing. He's side-by-side with Kieran. Kieran's trying to give him the space there. Just running him out of road a little bit, and he still can't get past Kieran Argent up into 4th place. We've got GDBO leading this one though, just ahead of Matahimovic. Matahimovic is not letting GDBO run away with this one, but Green Prize has got a nice run here coming out of this section of the track. He's going to try and get a move before the chicane. Pulls out to the outside now, and Kieran Argent is really trying to defend his position with everything he's got. Is he going to be able to go around the outside of the chicane though? It looks like Kieran Argent trying to push him out, but Green Prize pulls up an absolutely brilliant move there, and he's up into 4th place. Green Prize making up 2 positions in the space of a few corners there, Ian.
That was great timing. You know, he knew where he needed to be, and he put the car right in its place and put the places. Thank you very much. Also, he's done the practice. He knows where these overtaking points are. He knows exactly where to place the car. Just great placement.
Yeah, absolutely brilliantly there. He was so aware of where he needed to be and what he needed to do in that situation. And Green Prize is already closing up onto the back of Unorthodox now. You see there, half a second separating these two at the moment. He's going to give this absolutely everything he can to try and get up into that position. As we see there, Unorthodox getting a little bit out of shape, going out the last corner. Oh, he almost runs into him there. Green Price was very, very conscious of Unorthodox there as Dan seemed to lose the car a little bit. I'm not sure, but Dan's going to try and come back at Green Price here. He's got, it must be very minimal though, because it was very slight contact between the two of them.
just the end plates it is. And it looks like Matovic has picked up another penalty.
I did have a massive oversteer moment that wasn't intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like Dan just got a little bit too heavy on the loud pedal coming out of the last corner, which caused him to very nearly run into green pies. But to be fair to Unorthodox, he did a really good job of keeping that under control. He knew that if he was going to get any more loose, then he would end up T-boning green pies.
Also,
but he actually caught it brilliantly there.
I've just had a message in my ear saying that rain is due in 10 minutes' time.
Oh wow, this is going to throw a spanner in the works for a lot of the guys who plan to go long here in this race, namely this man here, Just Jose, who's just been into the pits, presumably for some damage. Just Jose down in P12, but to be fair though, with the rain expected in 10 minutes, he's pulled off probably the best move he could have done here, and he's put a set of softs on, but with the rain coming, and potentially another safety car on the horizon, if guys start to get it all wrong in the wet conditions, Just Jose, it could actually have been a bit of a lifesaver for him, this rain that's on its way.
Yeah, it definitely could be. Well, so we don't know. Also, we didn't know what the weather was going to be like for this race. As the race unfolds, we now know that the rain is, of course, due. But also, no one would have predicted that we would have had rain, especially with it being such a nice day for race day. But looks like Gary's just overtaken Unorthodox as well.
Yeah, he has indeed, and it looks like Gary is up into 4th place, a couple of seconds behind Green Pies, who's on a charge right now. Green Pies right behind GDBO, because Matimovic is up into the lead of the race. He's now clear ahead of GDBO, and Green Pies right up his chuff here. Is Green Pies going to be able to get this move done, coming up on the run towards the chicane, which is halfway down that back straight, obviously in the GT layout. Yeah, he's done that pretty easily there. As Green Pies, he's up into 2nd position, and he's already on the back of Matimovic now. This is incredible stuff from Green Pies. He has not hung about at all throughout the course of this race, and he finds himself up in P2. He's in striking distance now of getting himself into the lead of this race. And his championship rival, Just Jose, the man who comes into this 44 points behind Green Pies in his championship, must surely be watching his championship sat on a knife edge here. We're only halfway through the season, but already Green Pies is looking like he's going to have at least a 50-point gap coming out of this race.
Yeah, it's definitely not the ideal situation, especially when you're fighting for the championship. But right now, he just has to keep his head down, focus on that, focus on those times, bring the gap down, especially while we've got the dry weather, and since he is already on the fast compound and the others, just needs to focus on catching up, making up as many places as possible before that rain starts to hit.
100%. We're just riding on board with Jaffa Cake right now. He looks like he's in the slipstream of Kieran Argent. He will have DRS coming down the main straight, but I don't think he's quite close enough at the moment. He got a little bit of a poor exit out of the last corner, which would have definitely compromised his chances of getting into that position. Yeah, Big Boy Brazier's picked up a penalty, and he's currently closing up onto the back of Penguin. Did a little bit of Big Boy Brazier, but that will not have helped.
Oh, he's going for Argent. Oh! Jaffa Cake went for a move on Argent, but
he's looking at the inside.
That was Penguin did, but it was looking for a move up in the inside of of Argent, but unfortunately it was just a little bit too tight.
Side by side, Jaffa Cake gets the move done there on Penguin Dude. Is Penguin Dude going to try and come back at him in the braking zone? No, don't think he is. He's done that really nicely as Jaffa Cake up into 7th place. As Matimovic has got Green Pies all over the back of him now. Has he got the move done? Green Pies, they're side by side, and Green Pies is up and into the lead here. But is Matimovic going to try and come back at him here? I don't think he is going to be able to.
No.
Green Pies now leads this Grand Prix, and he can now control this from the front. Has he got what it takes to go on and win this race with the rain coming? We've obviously got a wet forecast towards the end of this race, or indeed maybe even halfway through if it comes earlier than expected. So possibly Green Pies is going to have more troubles in the on the horizon later in this race, but for now he's got a completely clear track in front of him, and he's got control of this race. GDBO still just ahead of Gary right now. Gary closes up to within half a second as they come down the start-finish straight. He will have DRS. He's not close enough to go from move into the braking zone. Yeah, you're right. Unorthodox coming in there at the end of lap 11. Oh, right. So it looks like he's going to go for a very quick soft stint, but we're expecting rain in 5 minutes. I think he's probably pulled the trigger a little bit late on that one, Ian.
Yeah, it's potentially that pit stop was definitely not worth the time that he's lost, but versus the time that he could gain on the
Must have been
soft
damage on that
tires.
car. I can't imagine he would have done that unless it had been damaged, because he knows that the rain is expected pretty soon. So bit of a head scratcher there from Unorthodox, but he re-emerges in P10. I wouldn't bet against another safety car in this race, so it could pay off. P10 isn't going to be too much of a bad position if the safety car does come out. But we've got a great battle going on in the midfield right now. We've got Penguin Dude, Kieran Argent, Big Boy Brazier and Jaffa Cake currently separated by about 2 seconds between the four of them. This is looking like a really interesting battle right now. Let's watch from the perspective of
Argent's
Kieran
going for
Argent.
Penguin Dude.
Yeah, here we go. It looks like it's up the inside at the end of that straight, and Penguin Dude gives him the space on the inside. Kieran Argent is up into P5, and it looks like Big Boy Brazier's going to try and follow him through now.
Oh,
Is he going to be
yeah.
able to pull that off, though? Big Boy Brazier's got that move done as well, up into P6, and Penguin Dude's going backwards here. He's got Jaffa Cake now on the rear end of him, but Kieran Argent and Big Boy Brazier both up positions there in that little exchange, and Penguin Dude looks like he's on the back foot here, really falling back. Green Pie's his teammate, seems to be struggling a bit. Matt Inrich and GDBO looked like they were battling for a moment there, but GDBO's coming to the pits, so that's kind of put an end to that battle. He's now coming through the pit lane to put a set of hearts on. Why?
Yeah, that's the
Why?
very that's
With the rain forecast, that is an absolutely crazy decision there from GDBO.
unless what Dan was hearing was a bit of a glitch, or otherwise, people wouldn't be going in for some, for the harder tires. They might have just got a slight glitch in his earpiece there.
No,
Yeah,
I've
you raise a
definitely
good
just
point
been
there.
told. I've just definitely been told once again. Rain in 10 to 15 minutes.
So the rain keeps getting pushed back by the sounds of it. It was originally expected in 10 minutes, and now 10 minutes have passed. They're saying it's going to be another 10 minutes. I've heard this said to me many times, but never with rain or with weather forecasts. But But yeah, so it's been pushed back a little bit now. The estimated time of arrival for the wet weather is expected probably in about 10-15 minutes, so that could get pushed back further and further. In fact, no, hold on. No, I thought I saw a spot of rain there for a second, but that was just a little bit of something flying through the air. I don't think that was rain.
Penguin has managed to get up past Argent and Jaffa Cake again.
He has, yeah. It looks like he's also pulling up onto the back of Big Boy Brazier once again. So Penguin's not done here in this race. It looked like he had a bit of got stuck in a bit of a rut a couple of laps ago, but he's now found a rhythm once again. And I think Penguin Dude has been one of the surprise drivers in this race. He really has been on it. I reckon he might have had a few setup tips from his teammate Green Pies, who's the championship leader, and he's certainly found a groove over the course of this evening, has Penguin Dude. And I wonder if he'll be able to get back up into 4th place ahead of Big Boy Brazier. Big Boy Brazier, on his debut here at Motive in the Formula 1 League, really has been absolutely superb. He's burst into the scene really, really impressively. And obviously we're still expecting rain to come in this race, so that could spice things up and maybe throw a few spanners in the works of these other guys in the race. As we see Matahimovic right on the back of Green Pies. He's coming back at him here, Ian. Coming onto the brakes into the chicane. Matahimovic trying to put it on the inside. Green Pies closes the door. So close there between the two cars, but somehow they managed to avoid contact. But Matahimovic has got a lovely run coming out of the chicane. He's going to have DRS, surely. I don't think there's actually DRS for this section of the track, so he's just going to have to rely on pure grunt from the car. But Green Pies closes the door again, and Matahimovic no way through. But Matahimovic has given him such a good fight here in this race. You're right, Ian. He's picked up a penalty from the race director. Oh no, gutting there for Matahimovic, but what fantastic fighting we're seeing out on track. Matahimovic is not letting Green Pies right off into the sunset with this race, that is for sure.
Well, I think right now what he's doing, he's just trying to copy Green Pies' lines because he's probably, I think I'm seeing rainfall.
Yeah, I think we are. We might be seeing some changes to the intermediate tyres in a couple of laps' time. It's still slicks at the moment, but that could change as the rain continues to fall. We're just seeing a few droplets in the air at the moment. Hopefully that either it falls properly or it doesn't fall, because otherwise it's going to be a bit of a confusing one for the guys out on track. But it looks like Matt's got it back ahead of Green Pies. Yeah, side by side here, coming into one of the chicanes. It looks like Matt squeezed past and up into the lead of the race. Great racing from these two. Green Pies is not having it all his own way tonight, and Matahimovic is pushing him all the way, despite the fact that he's got a penalty from the race director. He's got quite a few penalties now, I think, Matahimovic. But he's giving Green Pies a great battle out here.
9 seconds. 9 seconds he has to wait, but when he goes in for his next pit, he will have to wait 9 seconds before his pit crew can touch his tyres.
Looked like he made that quite easy for Green Pies. I think Green Pies had his DRS wide open there. He's back up into the lead of the race. But as we watch this battle between P4 and 5, Penguin Dude and Big Boy Brazier still battling over this position. It looks like Penguin Dude's got back ahead of Big Boy Brazier here, Ian. So Penguin Dude's looking up here. Is Big Boy Brazier going to try and go for a move again?
But as the penalty to stand right now, I'll go right through them as I can see them. Matovic has 9 seconds, a 9-second penalty. Gary has 3. Big Boy Brazier has 3. Penguin Dude has 6. Ardent has 9. Jaffa Cake has 6. JDBO has 5. Dan 3. Keys 5. And DJ Phil 18 seconds.
Oh, DJ Phil's been a naughty boy tonight, hasn't
he? Yeah.
He has very much overstepped the mark tonight, but looks like Green Pies has got back ahead of Matahimovic here, and we see those just about to say Green Pies got ahead of Green Pies. That would have been a little bit embarrassing. I just about dodged that bullet, but
slightly, we now that I think we just enough for us to catch on.
I'm exposing how my mind works now, aren't I, guys? 4 tenths of a second separating these two at the moment. Green Pies can have to go defensive here as they come up towards the chicane. Is Matimovic can make a move around the outside there? There's a long old stretch up towards the chicane, but it looks like Green Pies able to hold off Matimovic. I think that's, Green Pies has got a slightly less downforce on that car because he seems to be quicker in these sections of the track, but then Matimovic comes back at him in the star parts, the more technical, downforcey type of sections of the track. But yeah, Green Pies currently back with the ascendancy here in this race, and we know that Matimovic has got to serve a hefty gold penalty when he comes into the pits as well. So Green Pies very much with the in the box seat here in this race, it has to be said. Yeah,
he's definitely got that ascendancy to take the win here. It's all depending whether or not he's done any practice in the rain for any chance of rain. It's always good to have that, have that little bit of practice just in the one sheer part of unluckiness, if that's even a word, that there could be rain. But
I think bad luck is the term, but yeah. I know exactly what you mean, of course. It looks like the DJ Phil's into the pits from P13, so he's bringing that Williams in for another stop. I wonder if he's going to be switching to... you wouldn't think he'd be switching to Inters just yet, would you?
Hold on, he's not. If he was in the pits, he would still be there, but he's not in the pits.
Oh, he's come out on a fresh set of soft tyres, as DJ Phil. And he made 4 stops in this race.
I don't think that's a penalty to stop to come into the pits. Wait for the time to count down for your pit crew can touch the tyres. I think that's actually going to go against them at the end of the race, as the same for the rest of the drivers for penalties here right now. I'm not 100% sure.
Absolutely, but we're currently seeing Green Pies, Matimovic and Gary closing up onto the 2 leaders right now. And it looks like Gary's bringing himself into this fight for the lead. Is the track looking a little bit damp now, Ian? I'm not sure.
It definitely looks like the clouds are moving in. We should be expecting the rain to start falling at any minute now.
Yeah, it looks like the track's a little bit greasy out there, so maybe the moisture in the air is starting to have an effect. And Green Pies struggling a little bit. Matimovic is coming in, so is he making a switch to the Inters maybe?
I think it's too early for that yet.
Yeah, I would think so as well. I don't think the track's anywhere near slippery enough for intermediate tyres. The rain hasn't really started coming down yet, but he's coming in. Let's see what the team have got ready for him. He's got mediums by the looks of it.
Hold on, I'm looking at the car. Rain is falling. I repeat, rain is falling.
Oh, Matahimovic has just completely messed up the strategy there. He's put the mediums on, I think, has he?
Oh, yeah, he has.
Oh, no. Matahimovic has just thrown his hopes of any decent result in this race away. The man who looked like he was going to be the main challenger to Green Pies here in this race. But Gary, only a second and a half behind Green Pies. So maybe Gary might be able to put a fight to Green Pies here in this race. Still a long way to go.
Penalty. He has a penalty, 3-second penalty.
3-second penalty for Green Pies. What's Gary's penalty?
3 seconds.
This has opened up the race massively now.
Gary
cuts the exit of the second chicane there, yeah. He's definitely overstepped the mark there in that situation, but he's got 1.3 seconds behind Green Pies. Hopefully Gary only gets a warning for that. We want to see a race here, ladies and gentlemen. We want to see these two giving each other a real good fight here in this race, and Gary is closing that gap to the championship leader Green Pies. Is he going to be able to do anything about Green Pies' pace around this forward card circuit here for the French Grand Prix here at Motive Racing? Currently just Jose, Green Pies' championship rival, his chief championship rival, currently sat in 8th place and not having a good one tonight.
Green Pies is staying out.
Green Pies and Gary as well staying out on the slick tyres for the time being. The track not even close to being wet enough to contemplate switching to the intermediate tyres, as Gary's now got DRS on Green Pies coming down towards turn 1. Is he going to be able to go for the move? He's got him easily, but Green Pies is going to try and outbrake him. He squeezes around the outside, just about clinging onto that position. Gary's going to have to now go again. He's looking back to the inside towards this tricky braking zone here, the next chicane. It looks like Green Pies somehow clinging on around the outside and keeping on to the lead, but Gary is giving him such a hard time of it right now. Gary getting a little bit loose onto that curb, which is tough at the time.
Really slippy. It looks like it's getting really slippy out there right now. Even in the simplest of corners, it looks like the back end of that racing point is getting out of it.
Yeah, Gary's going to have DRS for this section, but he's too far back to go for a move coming into the chicane. But it's definitely going to close him up on the back of Green Pies. He might fancy a move coming out of the chicane if he can get a good exit. It all depends on what sort of traction that racing point's got coming through this section of the track.
6-second penalty. It is now in 6 seconds for Gary.
Oh, Gary has shot himself in the foot enormously with that one. 0.7 of a second separating these two, but Gary needs to get ahead of Green Pies and needs to pull out a gap. I don't know whether that's going to be possible for him. Big Boy Brazier currently sat in 3rd place. He's closing in on these two. He's now got the gap to down around 7 seconds, so he is making inroads. But is he going to be able to bring himself into contention for the race win with 9 laps left to go, including this lap?
We have both Kieran Argent and Keegs on intermediate tyres right now.
Right, so those two are the first to blink. We'll be able to see now whether or not the Inters are the quicker tyre. But I imagine that the cut-off between softs and Inters is going to be a pretty fine line.
It's way too early. It's way too early.
Unorthodox on the team radio is saying it's too early to switch to the Inters, but those two not with a whole lot to lose here in this one. Just Jose has got himself up into 6th place ahead of GDBO. He's made that move and he looks to be pulling away now. But,
well, if you want an idea of how bad those Inters are doing, Argent pitted, came out in front of me literally 2 laps ago, and I've made 12 seconds on him.
Yeah, I'm watching him right now, and he's really struggling for grip.
They're just burning him up.
Yeah, he's got no grip at all right now.
As here we go, Green Pies has got Gary up his inside. Gary's made that move for the lead of the race, but Green Pies is still hanging it around the outside. Gary is still just about side by side here on the exit of the chicane. And it looks like Gary keeps in the track limits on the exit of the chicane, but Green Pies has got a little bit of damage on that car as these guys have to now negotiate the Haas car there. That is Keegs there having to get out of the way, and now Gary's got Green Pies taking back to his inside into this braking zone. Green Pies hugging that curve on the inside. Gary's going to go right round the outside and has got that move done up into the lead of the race, but he's got a 6-second penalty in comparison to Green Pies' 3-second penalty, so that's a 3-second swing in favour of Green Pies once we get to the end of this race. Gary now with the lead of the race, but he's got a lot of work to do if he wants to win it.
Yeah, he does. Well, right now, he does have a little bit of a sense of Green Pies, because yes, it's not a lot of damage, but that side plate definitely does help with a decent amount of downforce and corner ability. Right now, without that plate, he will be struggling a lot bit more.
Here we go, Green Pies with DRS coming down the end of the pit straight. You're absolutely right there, Ian. He's looking to the outside here. Oh, Gary, is he going to be able to get that move done? He looks like he rides over the curb a little bit. It's not. That's going to unsettle the balance of that McLaren just a tad. Gary just looks like he's lost out to Green Pies there. Green Pies back up into the lead, but Gary switching back to the inside. Can't quite get that one done. He's still on the outside of Green Pies. If he can keep the inside for the hairpin, he'll be back into the lead of the race. He tries to run Green Pies out of road, but Green Pies having none of it. Oh! So close there. It looked like Gary was going to tag the rear end of Green Pies and send him round, but it's somehow Green Pies squeezes through back into the lead of the race. We're seeing some phenomenal racing from these two, and now Green Pies is back into the lead of the race as they come into the chicane. But Gary's not going to give this one up. You can bet on that. This is an absolutely phenomenal fight. But Gary with the penalty, with the extra 3 seconds compared to Green Pies, it's going to take more than that for Gary to win this race.
That's very interesting. Just Jose's went on to the intermediate tyre.
Right, well, we'll be able to see now whether or not that's going to be any benefit to him. Big Boy Brazier has had a bit of a mare. Is he onto the Intis as well?
Big Boy Brazier, no, he's still on soft.
He's put a new set of soft tyres on. Big Boy Brazier switched to a new set of soft, and he's currently got the pace here on GDBO.
Even more confusing is that DJ Phil has went for full wet tyres.
DJ Phil's definitely gone for the wrong move there. Whether or not we're going to see just Jose making anything work out of these inters remains to be seen, but Unorthodox was saying over the team radio a few laps ago that it's not even nearly time for the intermediates just yet, but maybe now with the rain continuing to fall and the standing water just a little bit, we might be seeing some. But Unorthodox there, driving clean around the outside of just Jose, showing that I don't think they're quite ready for these intermediates just yet, Ian.
No, definitely I don't see any I don't see any kind of indication that it's time for anything but the dry compound right now. Yeah, the cars are getting a little bit slippy, but that is not any grounds to be able to switch them. But we just have to wait and see exactly how things come out. Hold on, Gary's went into the pits for fresh softs.
He has, yeah, and it looks like Gary and Big Boy Brazier both going for the same strategy here. They're betting on this rain not getting heavy enough to require stint on any kind of intermediate tyres at the end of the race, but whether or not it's going to pay off, we're going to have to wait and see. Currently Matt Himovic running a little bit up the road from these two. Surely Matt's going to have to come into the pits because he's done, if my calculations are correct, I believe he's done about 17 laps on these medium tyres.
Nope, he's on 4 laps.
He changed, of course he did. Of course he did. He changed tyres a few laps ago now, I remember. So Matt technically could go to the end of the race on these medium tyres as long as the rain doesn't come down hard enough, but at the moment we're expecting this rain to more or less stay as it is. You know, it's a very light drizzle, but not enough to switch tyres, and it looks like these guys in a reasonable enough position to just go to the end on these dry tyres. Green Pies leads this race by 10 seconds near enough.
England dude is in the pits. We'll just have to wait and see what he's going for. He is going for the hard tyre.
No, soft. He's on the soft.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, my apologies. It's because I always indicate red with hard, okay? No
Penguin dude going for a quick fire stint here at the end of this one, hoping to make the most out of these soft tyres, but he's going to lose a few positions in the process. Maybe going for fastest lap here, Penguin dude. Possibly that extra point could do him some good here in the championship standings.
A fucking fastest lap is actually just Jose.
Oh wow.
By
just
over
Jose.
2 seconds.
When on earth did he do that?
I have no idea, but he's done a 1:31.4. And Green Pies' fastest lap was a 1:33.3.
Well, just Jose's done a freakish one-off lap there.
Yeah.
He's currently hold the fastest lap, but Green Pies has been the man to beat over the course of this race, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And Gary's on the back of Matt and looks like he's going to try and go for that move on the... No, he's not.
No, but these two are teammates, so you would imagine that these two will be communicating with each other. And if Gary seems to have too much pace over Matt, I'm sure that they would be having a little conversation there. Maybe Gary saying to Matt, come on mate, I'd appreciate a wave by here because we need some good points in this championship. But both of these two, a little way off the back of Green Pies. Having said that though, what sort of state are their tyres in comparison?
Green Pies is in.
Green Pies is
He's
in.
going for enters.
Do you want an update on the Inter situation?
Go.
Well, I went in the pits and put a fresh set of softs on. I was about 20 seconds back from just Jose. He's now only 9 seconds ahead of me. Well,
it looks like you're going to have some fun here because Green Pies just came in for some intermediates.
Are you still closing in though?
Yep. It's now 8.8. 8.7.
It's not coming down by as much though, is it?
I mean, in 2 laps, that's pretty quick.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Green Pies has just pitted for the intermediate tyres. He clearly thinks that this track is going to get wet enough that to require these tyres, but that is a huge gamble from Green Pies.
Yeah.
Maybe he's feeling that the rain is starting to come down a little bit heavy now. He's struggling on those medium tyres. He's taking a precaution here. but he might have just thrown the race win away. Gary, on fresh soft tyres, currently leading this race. Green Pies now needs it to absolutely chuck it down.
Within half a lap, I made 2 seconds on Just Jose.
Well, there you go then. Well, we're on the 24th lap out of 27, and we've been 20 seconds behind on intermediate tyres while the leader is unsolved. I do not see him being able to clinch back this victory right now.
No, and the rain is not even drizzling anymore, it's just dripping.
Yeah, but Just Jose is actually, it looks like, no, sorry, Green Pies actually looks like he's actually struggling for a bit of grip on that right hander going coming out the big long straight. He did actually near enough lose the back end.
Yeah, I think maybe the decision to switch to the intermediate tyres. There's a bit of a head scratcher there for Green Pies. He had the lead of the race. He had the race under his control. He's coming into the pits again, so Green Pies has just pitted himself out of a chance to race win there. He had everything under control. Honestly, Ian, I don't know what to say about that. That is absolutely mind-boggling there. Why is Green Pies switched to the intermediate tyres with 4 laps left to go in this race when he was 10 seconds ahead? The track's not even nearly wet enough to consider switching to the inters, and he's just gone and thrown the race away.
A good indicator to tell you that it's too wet for slicks is when the DRS is turned off. And the DRS still hasn't gone turned off, so everyone's still able to use DRS.
Yeah, so it's clearly still slick conditions out there, but this will be... Oh, great. Just Jose's in the pits as well, so clearly the intermediate tyres are overheating to such a substantial amount that it's just impossible for these guys to handle. Just Jose into the box, and he'll be able to go off and on his way once again. He's almost going to be out of a point position here. He's running in P10. He will still pick up a point for his troubles, but not the race that just Jose would have wanted. Gary still leads this race a couple of seconds ahead of Matimovic on fresher, soft tyres. Gary is going to have much better pace at the end of this race, and it looks like it's going to be Gary who's going to be the first driver, other than Green Pies and just Jose, to take a win this season here.
And if things continue the way that they are right now, it looks like Big Boy Brazier will inherit second place, because Matt currently has a 9-second penalty while Big Boy Brazier only has a 3-second penalty, and the gap is only 3 seconds right now.
Ian, are you able to tell me what the gap is? In fact, no, actually I can pull this up on the... I know how to pull this up.
The gap between first and second is actually coming down. It's just a little over 4.6 seconds right now.
Yeah, I'm just noticing Big Boy Brazier is within 5 seconds of Gary. Gary has a 6-second penalty. Big Boy Brazier has a 3-second penalty. That means that if Big Boy Brazier can get to within 3 seconds of Gary, then he might be able to take the win here this evening. But he needs to get ahead of Matimovic first. It's going to be a tall order for Big Boy Brazier.
Oh no, he's got a 6-second now.
Oh, Big Boy Brazier's picked up another 3-second penalty. That looks like it might be the win going out of the window for him. He's currently 2 seconds behind Matimovic. If he can get ahead of Matt on the track, he might be able to get a P2 here in this race. But nonetheless, it's a great result for Big Boy Brazier when you consider the fact that this is his first race in the F1 League here at Motive. Currently sat in a podium spot. It's been nothing short of brilliant from
I can see it. I can see it now, guys. I'm going to get so many messages about the track limits. But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, people were moaning that it wasn't strict enough, and now it's not. It's too strict. Like, what can we do? This was a test. This is a test.
It's not as strict as Project Cars. You know what I mean?
Oh no!
I mean, I've only had one warning. I mean, I've had several warnings. I mean, but I've only had one penalty for track limits.
Yeah.
It's not hard. I mean, some of the guys will moan at me and will complain about it, but at the end of the day, if you're off track, you're off track, you know?
Yeah. If you want to talk about strict track penalties on Project Cars 2, then you go to Rapunta Park.
Well, but yeah, if you don't like...
People will take this race on board, and next time out they'll treat it differently, because they know they can't get away with it, you know? Yeah. So this will serve as a warning to them. They can't do this, and you know, they'll fall in line next time around. So don't worry about it.
Talk about strict. If you don't talk about strict, Gran Turismo is a lot stricter than this. So just saying. Yes.
Yep. As a Gran Turismo player, I can definitely 100% agree with that. Even if you're not the one that caused the incident, even if you went off track by one tiny little pixel, you're going to get a 50-second penalty.
Yeah, it's not as uncompromising as Gran Turismo for sure. But Gary 131 has had this race handed to him on a plate due to Green Pie's impromptu pit stop. Bit of an unusual decision for Green Pies, but nonetheless this man is going to be absolutely delighted with what he has inherited here. Gary 131 has had a bit of a difficult season throughout the course of this one. Is sat a little way down in the championship standings compared to his teammate Martin Hinrich. Gary come into this one sat in 6th in the championship standings. I spoke to his teammate Martin Hinrich last night, and he said that these two, both of them, are going to be absolutely gunning to take the Constructors' Championship for Racing Point this season. The Pink Panther team, or not actually the Pink Panthers that you have at Motive Racing on ACC, like the only G, Kurt and Morgan, but certainly the Pink Panthers of Formula One and the Racing Points. They're going to take a victory here. 1-2 to boot. A brilliant drive from Gary 131. He takes the checkered flag here at Paul Ricard and wins the French Grand Prix. What an absolutely fantastic performance. Martin Rich follows him home to complete the 1-2 for the Racing Point team. Big Boy Brazier on his debut here at Motive Racing for the Formula One League comes over to take a podium finish in the Mercedes AMG. Brilliant stuff from Big Boy Brazier. Penguin Duke, Green Pie's teammate, picks up the points for the McLaren team. P4, GDBO in 5th position there, crosses over the line, takes the checkered flag. Green Pies, the championship leader, has thrown away a certain race win in the closing stages of this race. He comes over to take a 6th place, but he's going to be furious with himself for that one. And what's he doing?
Yeah.
I think he's just maybe making a point of his dissatisfaction there. But he slows it down over the line, taking P6. Jaffa Cake is coming around the last corner now. Oh, Jaffa Cake. Whoa. Keep it together, come on, only one corner left.
Oh, hold on. Dad's a bit together, I think.
He's driving on ice, look at that. Jaffa Cake comes over the line to take a 7th place here in this race. Just holds on from unorthodox. That is the race over for those two. Just Jose is going to come around to take a 9th place there, losing more points to his championship rival Green Pies. And I think the gap is over 50 points now in the championship. It's looking pretty unassailable for Just Jose going into the second half of this season. Kieran Argent coming over the line to take the final points pay position in P10, 1 point for him. Redding has finished the race in 11th. Keegs and DJ Phil both a lap down on the race winner Gary 131. But what a result for the Racing Point team this evening. It's been a stranglehold for Green Pies and Just Jose on the top spot of the podium throughout the course of this season. No other driver has taken a win bar those two before this race, but Gary 131, the first driver outside of those two to take a win. Jaffa Cake somehow gets driver of the day. Goodness knows what Cody's have done to their game in order to give these drivers a driver of the day. But Racing Point get a 1-2. Gary 131 with his first win of the season. And Racing Point looking good for this Constructors' Championship now, Ian, I reckon.
Yeah, they're definitely, they know how to drive these cars. They know how to get them around each and every single car, take advantage of every single situation that goes on. And they'll just, just continue to drive. Matt, I'm gonna give him my driver of the day. He's the first one that took the fight to Green Pies today, and he kept with him for majority of the race. So he is my vote for driver of the day.
Yeah, hats off to Martin Rich. For myself, honestly, I feel bad for Gary because neither of us is going to go for him, seeing as he's won his first race of the season. But I'm going to give it to Big Boy Brazier because he's burst onto the scene here at Motive. He has just gone and recorded a podium finish in his first race in this F1 league. Can't fault him for that. But Gary 131, a huge honourable mention to Gary. He's taken his first win of the season. Looking very good there tonight here at Paul Ricard. And I'm sure he'll come on strong for this result and have a stronger second half of the season. But ladies and gentlemen, that was all for Motive Racing here for round 10 of the Formula 1 season. Thank you very much, Ian, for joining me in the commentary box, mate. Really enjoyed it. Thanks to Dan for joining us as a race reporter. We'll see you tomorrow night for the GT3s and Project Cars 2, followed by Formula 1s. But from us, it's a very good evening. Have a enjoy the rest of the weekend if you don't see us before, and see you later.
See you.